problem with commissioners in baseball is that too many times the job is too much bigger than they are. There's a little clause in there that says in the best interest of baseball.
Right.
The President of the United States doesn't have that much power. Sometimes adversity can be the greatest teacher of all.
Exactly.
You learn more from your failures if you want to be successful than you do from your successes.
If you were president, you could be a tough president, by the way.
I would not be a one-term president. I'd probably be a one-month president.
Hi, I'm Lee Iococca. Is America's favorite pastime baseball past its time? There are a lot of opinions out there, but one man's voice is often heard above the fray. Maybe that's just because he talks so damn loud. My guest today and my very good friend and the owner of the New York Yankees, George Steinbrenner. Now, I don't think I have to tell you that George has a bad reputation. A few years ago, Newsweek called him the most hated man in baseball. But that's not the George I know. And in the next half hour, I think you're going to see a side of George you haven't seen before. But love him or hate him, you got to respect him. Because in my book, you always got to respect the boss.
I want this camp to run like almost a boot camp. I hope we understand each other. A lot of you were here last year. There are fellows that were here last year that aren't here this year. And they're not here for a reason. They didn't do the job.
George Steinbrenner, whether anybody ever invented the name the boss or not, was perfect for that title. He looked like a boss, he acted like a boss.
The boss, that's George Steinbrenner in a nutshell. Of course, a lot of people in New York think George is just a nut. His 20-year reign over the Yankees has had its hits, its runs, and more than its share of errors.
I think he wants to win so badly that he lets himself get trapped into situations and behaviors that do not serve his interests and that invite criticism.
But that pursuit of excellence also led him to one of the most enduring soap operas in professional sports, changing managers 19 times in 20 years, including 5 stints by Steinbrenner's #1 foil, the late Billy Martin.
The lowest of the low points in his career came when he was suspended by the commissioner of baseball because he had given money to Howard Spira, who was a self-admitted gambler who was trying to get for George information detrimental to Dave Winfield. Now that was a sleazy thing to do.
I was with him the night that he got the word. I was sitting with him. He took it like a man. He knew he was, excuse the expression, screwed.
I thought I'd come down for a few moments to show you that I am not remorseful, I'm not in shock. Actually, I feel pretty good about things.
That resilience is one of George's biggest assets. As he says, he's got a hide as tough as an alligator. And as his best friend Bill Fugazi points out, toughness runs in his family.
George's father was very strict with him. And I think the reason he respected his father, he feels his father gave him a discipline that has well carried him through his childhood and his adulthood.
George's father left one indelible mark on him, but sports, and particularly the New York Yankees, left another.
And I was from Cleveland, I lived in Cleveland. I love the Cleveland Indians, but you were in awe of the New York Yankees. I mean, absolutely in awe. And they would come in by train, and there was their trunks and everything to be brought up and put in the lobby. I used to just sit and look at the trunks. That was a thrill. That was the Yankees, you know.
George made his money in his family's shipping business, but he made his name when he bought the Yankees and started drilling the Steinbrenner code of ethics into his players.
And when you put the pinstripes on, you're not just putting a baseball uniform on. You're wearing tradition and you're wearing pride. And you're going to wear it the right way.
And out.
Sure, George makes a lot of headlines, but he also does a lot of good work that no one writes about, like sponsoring amateur athletes in pursuit of their dream. Amanda Ward is one of the athletes George has taken under his wing.
Well, I think he'd definitely want me to win. I mean, I'm sure he wants to see me do a clean program to skate well.
She symbolizes something for kids in the city and everywhere that don't think they can make it to be a champion. She went out there in Phoenix against all those hotshot skaters from the West and everything. Nobody ever mentioned her name, and she ended up winning.
Yes, it's true. George Steinbrenner can be a real nice guy as long as you don't mess up, figuratively or literally.
Who's in charge of the group?
Right back here in this box is where somebody messed up pretty bad.
He took us along on one of his snap inspections of Yankee Stadium.
We're sticklers on detail and we're sticklers on cleanliness. I will take a walk around the stadium and I will cover the concession stands. What's for lunch, girls? And I'll cover the restrooms to see that they're clean and everything is as neat as can be. It may seem menial to you, but it isn't. It's important to me. Good morning. How are you? We even allow them to advertise and make fun of me. Like that sign back there that said, "Hi, George, relax in our comfort shoes." I'll relax when we're 10 games ahead.
Hey, George will be here in a minute, so I think I better go check the washrooms. But stay where you are, because after this break, I'll go one-on-one with George Steinbrenner.